Good morning, everybody. I'm at Parcaut here with Bobby Atkins, and we are the Veterans Edition of Real Estate Jerky. How you doing, Bobby?
I'm doing pretty well, Ed. How about yourself?
Good.
Good.
Been doing pretty good. I've been talking a lot since we talked a couple weeks ago about telling people I'm not too busy for them.
Yeah.
I think it's very important for people to know.
Yeah.
Just because I do all this, I have a supportive staff to do all the other stuff, but I talk to you. I have plenty of time for everybody.
Yeah.
So you always want to go a busy person because they make the time.
Well, I was going to say, how much do we actually sleep every night, right?
Oh, at my age, I get up at 5. So
I'm going to say, if I get 5 hours of sleep, I'm doing good, man.
yeah. Well, I just do what I need to do. I mean, what am I going to do? Watch that much TV? There's not that. I've seen every show out there already.
Isn't it crazy? Like I know, like sometimes when my wife and I have like an hour, the kids are all asleep. We spend more time scrolling because we're like, there's so much to choose from. None of it looks interesting. I don't want to watch anything. Did you save a funny video on your phone? That's normally what we end up doing.
I just tell people what's good, depending on what services you have, and it depends on what you're looking for. I mean, but something we talked off at the air, some of these shows are just putting too much information about stuff that I don't always want to see.
Yeah, it's an agenda.
Yeah, they are, because let's move on before I get into trouble.
Everything ties back to real estate.
I'm just talking about the other, too much of their agenda they're trying to push in Hollywood to make it okay. It's kind of like, I don't get conspiracy, so let's move on. I've been pretty busy qualifying people. People are looking.
Excellent.
But, again, it's still, you have to make so much money, and that's just how it is these days. Even when rates keep coming down, we're still going to be above right around 80,000 to 100. You know what I mean? It's going to be right in there, because as rates come down, what's going to happen? Value is going to go up.
Correct. Yeah. More competition in the market.
It's coming. Yeah. It's coming. And somebody else was saying about, what was it about? Prices. It's pretty much the same thing, but we're going to, they're talking about the Dream for Some program.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially, I saw an agent post that it's coming out in March. We don't know that.
Well, and it's going to be like 250 million. So last time was 100 million. It went in like 7 days.
Actually, last time was 300 million.
Was it? I thought it was only 100 million.
No, it was 300 million. It was supposed to be 500 million.
Oh,
I actually think they're not going to do it because our budget is at 68 million short right now.
I thought it was 100 million.
No, that's what they had left over that supposedly was left over at the end when everybody didn't finalize their stuff.
Oh,
but I don't know for a fact because I'm not in their office.
Gotcha.
Right. But I mean, they talked about it, but I was talking to somebody else. Watch that week how fast home values go up.
That's the problem. Like, we don't need that sugar rush. You know,
we need that to go towards the builder. And actually, last weekend I went up to Walnut Creek, and on the way back, you go the whole way through one there. They built a lot of homes there in Patterson out by that freeway, that Tracy stuff. There's a lot, but I mean, there's a lot, but we could build more.
Right? Yeah, like you said, we need millions of homes.
But I mean, I remember there were like none of those homes there, and then all of a sudden some, and then more. And now it's like, wow, there's a bunch here.
I wonder if they got together with was it S2A?
No, those are all manufactured on site because you can see them being built out there.
Gotcha.
No, they've been working on them for a while, and
gotcha.
It just and it's perfect location, right? Because you just, instead of coming all the way over here, you just go that way a little bit and you're home.
Yeah, I know the original idea was there was supposed to be another, like a freeway, right? There was supposed to be a shortcut to the Bay Area.
Well, it's still a 580 down there.
Yeah, but there was another one that people were talking about, and it was supposed to save like an hour's drive time.
Oh, really?
I was like, well, I don't know about that, because you make another way and all of a sudden people just start using that way, right?
Well, they should make it another way that is metered.
Yeah.
Like they do in Southern California. There's all these different highways and they're metered. They're toll roads.
Yeah.
And not everybody takes them because they're toll roads.
Yeah.
But, it depends on what you're trying to do. Load up. Carpool. Get a van pool. And, then it's faster and cheaper.
Yeah. Unless you decide you don't like anybody in the van, then you got to be quiet for a couple hours, right?
Put your headphones on. Do your own stuff. Take your stuff like you're on the train. And that's the other thing is we were talking last week we are 650,000 trade jobs short in the United States.
Now, short of like those jobs
that are open.
Okay, that need to be filled.
Yep.
Yeah.
They need them now. That's why they can't build any of the stuff that they, the train, the other stuff, because they just don't have people to build stuff, roads, other stuff. They just don't have it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was talking to a guy on Saturday night at a crab feed, and he's like, this county, they're trying to get $50 million from the state to finish some stuff up.
Well, I wonder if that's where the the high paying jobs were, man, back in the trades. If people would start going back there,
They
because
are high paying jobs.
yeah, well, if you get like prevailing wage, you might be making about $40 an hour, right? So people look at tech jobs, they go, I can not kill myself in the sun, and
They're not even looking at tech jobs. They're looking at staying home and not doing anything jobs. These are, I mean, I know somebody a female went into management, right? And she's making over 80 grand a year starting.
yeah.
So, I mean, but I mean, a lot of these plumbers, other stuff, they make I mean, and they work a lot of overtime, work a lot of other stuff. They make a lot of money, but
yeah.
a lot of them, when it rains and stuff, they stay home. So, I mean, it makes it up, but
Yeah.
but not all.
Well, I was gonna say, being a framer or a concrete guy, you're definitely dictated by the weather, but
right. But I mean, even these, I've been watching different shows out of the country building houses in areas where they can't build houses, so they build them in the factory, and how much cheaper they are in the factory. Like did you ever go to that tour of the STA?
no, I had to cancel it because I had my son's basketball game I didn't know about, but no, I need to go in there.
Yeah, I need to go there because I didn't make it that day either because we had something my wife had planned I didn't realize. And if they build them in the factory, so much faster, so much it's cheaper. They bring them outside and they watched it in 3 days. The thing went up in 3 days.
Yeah.
Out on site. Yeah, it was amazing how fast. The only thing it didn't have was, I don't know how S2A is, but this one in particular over where they were getting built at, they had to go get their own kitchen. Everything else was there, but they had to go buy their own kitchen and put that in.
Gotcha.
But other than that, everything else was in.
I'm gonna say, if everything's stubbed up already, then that's easy peasy, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I need cabinets and appliances.
Yeah.
Countertops. But I mean, that could be, again, expensive. The most expensive part. And when people remodel kitchens, they're expensive.
Yeah. Depending on the cabinets, I found that sometimes people go way overboard, right? Like this is, I know we're kind of getting all in the weeds, but people will say like, hey, should I remodel my kitchen? And I'm like, first of all, I would not. I would not spend the money, because what if you do something that most people don't like? I've seen pretty weird houses out there.
Well, that's why whenever you remodel, you do it so that other people will like it, not just what you want.
Yeah. But also, like, I always tell people, that the most expensive thing in your kitchen is going to be your cabinets. Just reface them, get new doors.
I know, but painting, they chip after a while, all that stuff.
Not if you have them professionally painted.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know somebody who they went with, I ain't gonna say the name here locally, and that's what they painted them, and they're starting to chip, and it's been a while.
Yeah.
And they have professional painters.
Gotcha.
So a lot of them will come, and that's why some of these cabinets are painted on site, like you said, at the factory. And I would just shop around and get them custom built somewhere, but just shop around a little bit.
Yeah. Well, the reason I know is because, like, I've made cabinets, right? So 90% of it's plywood, but plywood isn't cheap. You just get a bunch of boxes.
Cheap these days.
I wish it was, man.
Everything's expensive these days.
Yeah.
All right. Did you have any questions you wanted to ask me about VA loans before we get out of here?
Yeah. So I know, like, with the VA, educational benefits, you can pass it on to your children
or your wife
or your spouse, right? Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Whatever that is, your spouse.
You would. But is there any way you can do that with VA? Because I'm sure that there's a question out there that someone's been wanting to ask.
All right. The only way to pass on your veterans benefit to buy a home is to be passed to your widow or widower.
Okay.
And if you're getting disability, if they're still getting the disability for that.
Okay.
If there's no disability, then 9 times out of 10, no. Because it's hard. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if they remarried.
And I think I asked you off camera, was there any way for, like, a parent to be, like, on the loan with their child? And you said no as well, right?
Right. Yeah. So on a VA loan, you can only be a veteran. So a veteran can be on there by themselves or with another veteran or with their spouse. That's it.
Okay.
Can't have a kid. And that's one of the reasons we can't put it in a trust. A lot of people want to put when they buy a home, they want to put it right in the trust, the trust name and the trustee and all this stuff. You can't with the VA. And I haven't read why, but I assume it's because it's not a veteran, right? It's a document.
Yeah.
But after it closes, you can then transfer it into the trust.
Okay.
And then if you do a refinance for VA, they'll have to take it out of the trust, do the refinance, and then you have to put it back in the trust.
And I'm sure that costs extra, right?
That's just, doing a grant deed to put it back in the trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which has to go through the attorney, whoever is holding the trust, right?
No. It's just the name of the trust.
Oh, okay.
So there's a document that says a certification of the trust. What's the name of it? That's what you grant it. And you go down to the recorder's office, that one page. That's why that title lock commercials.
Mhm.
Well, it's only one piece of paper, and they can steal their property. Yeah, they're going to steal your property. You have no loan on it, so just over encumber it. They'll never steal it. But it's that one. It's a grant deed that's granting it from yourself to the trust. And then the other one, when you're doing a refinance, whoever's doing your refinance will have it taken out of the trust during the transaction, but they can't put it back in the trust for you.
Gotcha. Okay.
It used to be years ago, escrow officers would do the other form and say, here, just have this recorded afterwards. They won't do that anymore. They can't.
Gotcha.
That's a separate transaction. They have to get paid to do that.
I'm sure, man, there's been a scenario where timing's been, poor, right? And it closes and doesn't get put back in the trust, and then the owner passes away or something.
Well, it should be covered in the trust, that if for some reason it's not in the trust, it's still part of the trust. Those wordings. You talk to your attorney about that, because sometimes you take it out and put it back in, all those different things.
Yeah.
But talking about timing, a lot of times when you do a refinance, the Earls, when they come to a veteran, they say, hey, we can refinance. You don't have to, you can not write a check. And I came up with this terminology back in the 90s. They used to say you can skip up to 2 payments, which is not true, because you add the interest onto your loan. So I came up with that you cannot write a check for 2 months. See the terminology difference?
Yeah.
So, but be careful. In order to do that, you don't make your payment in the month you're closing. And some of these people will get all the way close to almost the first of the month, where you could get a 30-day late payment. So if they don't close by the end of the month, you could get a 30-day late payment.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Just do your normal. You don't have a payment for 45 to 60 days.
Yeah.
Don't do the second payment, unless, because sometimes people in the past, I've done these, people want it for the second payment and the miss, that whole thing. That's why they're doing it. Yes, they lowered their payment, but the most important thing for them was to miss those payments.
Gotcha.
So you just have to be careful. All right. And the other, like with FHA, you pay the full month of interest no matter when you close. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done FHA.
It's the same on purchases too. I mean, if you close on the 5th of the month on an FHA, right, you're selling it and we're going to close it, they still pay for that full 30 days of interest.
Yeah.
And they should change that.
I'm going to say, how much can that be at times? Obviously depends on the purchase price.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the payment. So if your normal payment was say $2,500 a month, and you take out your tax and insurance and say it's $2,000, that could be depending on when it is, your interest is most of that payment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that could be a lot.
Gotcha.
What, on average, $80 a day time, whatever that number is, again, has to do with, how big your payment is, your loan amount, that kind of stuff. But just make sure who's doing this knows what they're doing, before you do anything. Or better yet, just reach out to me. I'll take care of you.
Yeah. Excellent.
Or if I can't handle it because it's in a different state, I'll find the right person for you. Because I don't want anybody taken advantage of by some of these companies online. All those people send that stuff to your mailbox, veterans and the FHA. They're doing it for a reason. VA is so easy to refinance, but their big push is they're saying we can lower your payment to this. All this usually have 2 points just for the rate, not the other costs. And so you're adding so much money on just to save a little bit. Don't do that. Earls can be done once every 210 days. Just do it cheaply and do it a few times, so you get the most benefit.
Gotcha.
I hope I answered your questions.
Yeah. No, that's good, man.
No, I wish you could pass that on to your kids. That would be great, right? But you can't, unfortunately.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, but they could assume it.
Yeah, I know. It means then you don't have that benefit, right?
Well, at that point, maybe I don't want that benefit anymore.
Yeah,
I'm at that age where I'm gonna need to transfer my house. Might as well give you the loan too while I'm at it.
Gotcha.
Right? I mean, because otherwise you got to refinance and get them, pay that thing off.
Yeah,
because they can do a due on sale clause. That is when someone passes away or somebody transfers ownership of the property, but not the loan stays on there. Could be a due on sale clause, and they could enforce it. Are they enforcing it? Not 9 times out of 10, no, but they could.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
All right, I think that's it for today.
Yeah. No, thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey, no problem.
Definitely explains it.
I hope I explained it. I know I was supposed to talk about Calvet and that kind of stuff, but I need more time to get it completely put together.
hey.
I apologize. We'll get to that next week because I won't have time by Thursday either because I got Rotary.
Okay.
All right. Make it a great day. And thanks for being here, Bobby. Thanks for being here.
All right. Thanks, Ed.
And we appreciate you. If you need any help, feel free to reach out to us. You can message us, through any of these areas that we're on, or you can just email it at edparcaut.com. You can get a hold of Bobby at 209-550-1087. Bobby, again, thanks for being here. And